Good afternoon, iRacers. Welcome back to Apex Racing TV and the Sim Racers Asia GT Championship. We're calling the action from Road America today. I'm Alex Simpson, along with Scott Newton. And welcome, fellow. You are here this week as well.
No, hey Alex, hey everyone. Yeah, apologies for missing Zolder, but that was my own wrongdoing, and it's
You were pushing
good
up
to be
the
back.
Z's, weren't you? The computer screen was on. You were snoring
Yeah.
your eyes out or head
Yeah.
off. One of the two.
Yeah,
But,
good to be back. And Road America, one of my favorite tracks, and from the 10 outs today, especially with the Le Mans 24 hour going on quite soon, that should be a good race tonight.
Just having a quick look at championship standings, top 5. Cohen Klopman in the pro. He's closely followed by Anthony Winkelman. Winkelman running in an ERA livery this week as well, so probably a team change there. Mike Burdett is third. Find a quick points. It's pretty close at the top. And then Paul Nelson basically rounding out your top 5. And then we have Steve Bouquet leading the way, Daniel Leet, Leonardo in third, Alex Paul fourth. Again, that championship is extremely close, only sort of 5.5 separating those right now. I'm looking at the wrong things. That was not a helpful rally, Alex, was it? Winkelman, Cherney, Damien McPhee, Mike Burdett, and Kevin Hung, is the pro championship. 180 points, followed by 150, 146, 142, and 117. So still pretty close. Everything to fight for in that championship. What I was looking at. That's the total three championships, not just this season. So, in the Clubman Series, Alex Paul, Leonardo De Oliveira, Daniel Leet, Tim Shinosky, and there as well. That championship, like I say, is very close. Alex definitely up front, 132, but then 111 joint second and third place, and Shinosky on 105 and 101 for So it is very, very close in that AM. We need to pay a bit more attention to that. Apologies to the guys, a little bit of lack of love with who's winning those classes. We'll try and get on that this week for you. Got qualifying's coming to an end. Do you want to take us through the provisional grid?
Yep, that's no problem. So currently at the moment, we have Anthony Winkelman on pole at the moment, 202.469. Tim Jackson, his teammate, on a 203.0. Third place, Luis Paolo Gallen. Fourth, Leonardo Lopez de Oliveira. Fifth place, Nathan Grouden. P6 alongside him is his teammate, Paul Lonergan. P7, Benjamin Hackerson. P8, Kevin Hoang. P9, Eamon Hazik. And rounding out the top 10, Steve Bouquet. P11, Paul Nelson. Jackson Evans, Chandra Yong, Daniel Leet, Junior Pereira, Mike Burdett, Federico de Joaquim de Roca, Simon Jorge Sanchez, Indra Farianto, and Min Park rounding out your top 20, with the rest coming up on your screen as they filter through.
Smaller grid here, 29 cars. Worth pointing out, of course, the major impact into this series as well will be the balance of performance change. Now, obviously in the series you're allowed to change car just the once in the season, and then you have to stick with that car. Now, I believe a lot of drivers have already done that, but there's a lot that haven't. So I do think we're going to see predominantly Mercedes out there today, but there will be drivers that have got to stick with what they had because they've already swapped up. So there could be some disappointing folk out there because the new BOP, there isn't any balance of performance right now, is there? They're all over the shop.
Yeah, it looks as though that the Audi being one of the predominant cars, up until this point has been heavily disadvantaged after the new updates out this week.
Clearly they sold lots and lots of Audis, but not very many Mercedes. So it's like, I know what we'll do. Let's make the
exactly.
Mercedes BOP high. Oh, I'm not that cynical. Surely they wouldn't do anything so mean. But I tell you what, I bet those Mercedes sales have just shot up.
Yeah, for sure. But also with BMW, they've made the car a little bit heavier, but changed around the aerodynamics and engine performance to make the car as similar as what it was to the previous build. And then just minor tweaks for the Ford GT, McLaren, MP412C, and the AMG getting possibly the strongest changes, given the fact that there's quite a lot up front.
The thing is with the AMG, they didn't really change it. That's the thing. They left that the same. They changed everything else. Everything else has had some sort of disadvantage. So the McLaren, obviously, it's not quite as fuel efficient as it was. So the guys, for example, in this race that are in the McLarens, they're going to spend longer in the pits. The BMW, obviously, always had a bit of a disadvantage with straight line speed, but had the big advantage. It was really kind on its tires, and you could go for that sort of no stop or double stint strategy in the sort of like the endurance races and get yourself track position that way. And the Audi obviously just was a very good all rounder and had an extreme amount of torque, very punchy out of corners. So you could almost be slightly slower on the way in, but you'd be a lot quicker on the way out. And yeah, they've really nerfed that now. So drivers complaining a bit about added understeer that has crept in with this build as well. So yeah, that car really is gonna sit at the back. As for the Ford, I haven't seen too much feedback on the Ford, but have seen people running that again. So now that they're all slowed down a bit, I think the Ford is back in play. But the Mercedes was already a pretty strong car. It was just sort of it was kind of jack of all, master of none, and now it really is a case of now everything else has come off. It's kind of like master of all. So I think it's going to be it's going to be very good. The only place I think that it's going to struggle at would be somewhere against like the McLarens, for example. Still would be like Monza or Le Mans, but everywhere else, I think it's going to be just a bit quicker than that. So, and even at Monza on the endurance race, depending on the timing of it, the McLaren might still have to fuel save now, so it might lose some of its advantage. So, yeah, there's big decisions if you don't want to drive the Mercedes right now, because that one really is kind of the go-to car. Maybe there'll be another update. Who knows?
Yeah, as you say, a big decision is with the Blancpain Endurance Series coming up. I think starting 2 weeks from today.
Yeah, it is indeed. Yeah, a week today for the Road Pro Series, obviously in the McLaren, and then the following week we jump into the Blancpain Pro Series. Have you heard if anyone's covering that series? Scott? Because I know we're obviously doing the Formula One. Shouldn't call it that. Oh, iRacing will have me. So we're doing the Grand Prix Road to Pro series.
Not that I'm aware that the GT Pro.
Yeah, it wasn't covered last year, was it? So.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I might have to see if the lads get some time off, because I know myself, Antoine, and Seb are not racing because we managed to stay in. So yeah, I might see if I can get a little team together just to cover some of the Saturday events of those as well. Could be a bit different, bit of endurance. I'll speak to iRacing, find out if they've got cover. If they have, then no problem. If they haven't, well, yeah, we might step in and do a couple. Long old pace lap around Road America. Probably the longest track that we do a full lap on, I would think.
Yeah, it sounds about right, to be honest. I think it's a 4-mile track. Lots of long straights, fair few tight corners as well, and lots of drafting opportunities. with a fair few overtaking places, especially into turn 1, into turn 3, and into Canada Corner as well. You probably see a lot of overtaking opportunities down that way. Cool track conditions as well. Overcast, 24 ambient with a track temperature of 24. Winds westerly 18 kilometers an hour. So should be quite a lot of grip out there. There more than likely won't be a change of tyres for this race, but with certainly a fuel restriction, they will have to pit for fuel to make it home.
Couple of Audis out there, and well, it's no surprise that they're at the back. You guys watch any of my track guide videos that I do on a weekly basis, you'll notice that in the default weather conditions my lap time was a second. I think it was a 7/10 of a second off, with some tweaks to the set and things like that. The Mercedes, but the optimals for that one, which can obviously I'm only doing about half an hour's worth of running, 45 minutes before doing those, were a second difference. So yeah, there's quite a change out there, and yeah, it really is. Looking at that field, you know, it's just going to be the Mercs are going to run this race. You know, can't see anyone else coming through at all.
Yeah, so the first non-AMG is in P8, Kevin Wang in the McLaren. So yeah, as you say, it's going to be a Merc-dominated race, but yeah, we'll see who can make their way up through the field.
Kevin loves that Macca, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
You'll never get him out of that, I think. Right, well, we're just the pace car just about to duck on into the pit lane, coming out of the final corner now. It'll all be eyes on Winkelmann when he's going to go for this one. He's waiting. Pace car's well into the pit lane now. There he goes.
Green, green, green.
Yeah, good start from him. And we'll lead into turn 1. Not really challenged. The battle really for third place looks like the one that could be a bit more interesting. Everyone's streaming through. But yeah, everyone through turn 1, no problems that I see. Scott, all clear on your end?
Yeah, it looks fairly clean start from everyone. Just making it single file. It is a fairly long race. It's a 45-minute race, so yeah, everyone's just trying to play the long game at the moment, and yeah, everyone's dicing for position at the moment.
Lopez having a little look, he does, but just not this time. Late on the brakes for Groden as well. He's got his teammate Lonergan right behind him. This is the lap that the McLarens need to do the moves, you know, use that straight line speed advantage that they have. But he's they're going to struggle already. They seem to be losing out through the corners. I'm amazed how quickly this has got single file, Scott. We're only half a lap in. Everybody just settled in. Nice clean start. I noticed there must have been something go on with Federico as he is lingering down in 29th place. So dropped a lot of places at the start and still got issues now. Massive front end damage on that car. So that could well be his race done. Tracy also in the Audi. Looks like some problems. So possibly a coming together between those two. Oh, there is contact though. We're about to see it. Into the tyre wall goes Simon Sanchez, and I think that's Daniel Leet. We'll have a look, see if we can get a little replay of that, see what exactly happened. Just looking at Leet, and Sanchez ran a little bit wide, and that's what's let Dan get alongside. Should be a slam dunk move. What goes on here? Is there anyone miss a break? Oh, actually it's completely the opposite. So just flying out of nowhere. So just looked like he completely missed his braking. That's yeah, that's pretty poor from from I think that was Simon, wasn't it, that caused the worst of it there. So, oh dear.
Looking back up at the front, Winkelmann's pulled out a 0.8 of a second gap to his teammate Tim Jackson. Fairly strung out, like fairly even gaps right through the fielders. I'm seeing the closest battle at the moment, P9 and 10 between Hazick and Nelson. Oh, sorry, it's Hazick and Hackerson. So battle with two Mercs, and Kevin Wong just unfortunately slowly losing the gap to Lonergan in front. So this is the closest battle on the track at the moment.
Yeah, Hackerson just a half a second behind. Zeke just close to him as well, 3/10. So I don't think he will have a chance to get a run on Ben this time. Just with Ben still having the slipstream of the McLaren ahead. Still think the McLaren's going to struggle a little bit to get, right up close to these McLarens. He really needs to use all the advantage he can sort of through these medium speed corners, really get tucked right underneath the wing if he's going to make the move stick, because the Macca is so fast in a straight line.
Yeah, it's definitely quite telling at Le Mans last week, where all the McLarens were just pulling away. Like they were doing, I would say, between 276 and 285 k's in the draft. So yeah, the McLaren definitely a powerhouse on the straights, but the Mercs seeming to keep up with them in the medium speed corners here at Red America.
Nothing going there. Bit of a battle going further back. This is for 17th and 18th. Gary Fishwick and Kim having a good little ding dong. They go into turn 5. If you want to take the official corner numbers, I like to think that's turn 3. Separate race out there, isn't it, for the Audis this week?
Yeah, unfortunately it's nothing like it, but yeah, going too wide through there, it's quite a tricky place, and it's still alongside each other, maybe costing them a little bit of time to cars in front, and just who's that? Is it Gary Fishwick running wide in the carousel?
Yeah, Fishwick went wide, Paul up and past him. As far as the points leader concerned, he's working his way up nicely. Having a look, see who might be. He needs to keep an eye out for Leonardo. I mean, Leonardo is way up the road, and he's obviously in the Clubman Series as well, so looking very, very good for him. He won't mind too much that Dan Leake's gone from the Clubman class. So. Here a bit of contact further forward as well, and having a little look, it's Min Park just rejoining the circuit. That's for 15th place, so perhaps a bit of contact there going into turn 1 for him. Take a quick look, who's that behind him at the moment? It's Pereira at the moment, getting the run like we say. It's going to be very, very late move, and it wasn't actually contact with them, he just ran out wide. I think the contact was elsewhere, but in the end that was just a good move. And up to 14th for him. He's got Chandra Yong 1.7 seconds up the road. The gap at the front's got pretty much static. Not really changed for a little while now. 0.8 of a second between the two teammates. You've got the Brenton will have to excuse me on this one because I can't quite see the car clear enough. Is it MLPS or MPLS? One of them.
MPMS.
Yeah, there we go. Evolution Racing Australia car, closely followed by the Logitech G car as well out there.
Last lap, Winkelmann just managed to pull exactly 1/10 of a second, setting a fastest lap of a 203.218, and Tim Jackson exactly 1/10 behind. So, so the gap at the moment 0.9 of a second, and putting a little bit further of a gap to Louis Paolo Gallon, and he set a 203.4. So top 5 within 0.7 of each other, but yeah, the top 4 within 0.2 of each other, so fairly consistent at the front.
Yeah, sadly I fixed the bug with the fastest lap where it was just showing only the leader's lap time. Now it actually does show the fastest lap, but of course I found an actual bug in the code in the software now where it doesn't exclude invalid laps, so like where they've reset and it comes up as a 0 lap time. It's now showing that as the fastest lap, so yeah, I think we'll just kill that bit totally. Software when you need it. Come on, ARTVO, we'll be switching over to that as soon as we develop our overlay for that. Hazik and Hackerson, well actually Hazik's got past Hackerson now and he's trying to run down Kevin Hung, so Kevin's a little bit of pressure already and now he's going to come under a little bit more. 2.6 seconds behind Paul Lonergan. I don't know why, Scott, I really thought we'd see a lot more overtaking here as well. Just the nature of the track, the big long straights, I really thought we'd see a lot of drafting, moves done. We've seen a couple, but yeah, I really thought there'd be it'd be quite frantic out there now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just having a look at the top speeds at the moment, and even in the draft, Hazik's still struggling to overtake the McLaren of Kevin Wong. Hazik was even down 1 or 2 Ks even in the draft, so yeah, it's going to be quite challenging for Hazik to. He might get a bit of a run now. He's much closer within 1/4 of a second, so yeah, they're pretty much exactly the same speed at the moment. So it might be a bit of a move into turn 3 or 5 if you want to go by the traditional name. But yeah, Hazik decides to stay behind at the moment.
0.3 of a second behind, and like you say, just there was no difference in speed there, so he's struggling. Kevin's obviously really trimmed that Macca out, or just that is how much quicker they are. Perhaps has he just got a little bit too much wing on that as well. It's going to make overtaking very, very difficult. Always a tough old decision, I know, when I'm thinking of like race setups and things like that. Especially for like the Blancpain GT series, is how much wing to go for. You can get a lot of really nice lap times, much higher wing, and I just take a load of rake on the car, make it turn. Same amount of downforce, but of course then it's just gutless slow in a straight line, so you just can't do anything in the race. Real separation starting to come on. Let's see where our AM champion chip leader currently sat. I mean, this is Alex's problem. He's unfortunately in the Audi, you know. He would be used to fighting with like Leonardo and people like that now, comfortable that, you know, he could win. But right now he's just way down. 17th place, last lap was extremely slow, a 2:07. He's never normally that far off. I mean, you know, I know he's not competing to win these races, but we don't normally see him 4 seconds off pace.
Yeah, definitely. Alex hasn't elected to change car at the moment, so yeah, he's sticking with the Audi at the moment. So
With free price into the pits.
So yeah, unfortunately, Alex is having to pay the penalty with the balance of performance at the moment. So yeah, Alex is struggling there a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. They'll tweak it again, if at least for next season. Yeah. Not much you can say about it, really, is it? Everyone knows it's bad, you know. I think iRacing will know when they've got the balance of performance right, because the splits, they'll be nice and even. You know, they'll be like, oh right, okay, we've nailed it, yeah? Everyone's doing it like any old car sort of thing. But right now, it's just like... Well, Luis Gallen in third place right now is slowly reeling in the front two drivers here. He's got a tiny bit of damage on his car as well, so it's not affecting him. Maybe it's improved the balance slightly, who knows? Very doubtful. But he's actually back to, oh, mistake in the background for, I think that's Grogan around. Yeah, it is Nathan Grogan spinning around. Of course, we normally see Nathan in a BMW as well, so seeing him in a Mercedes definitely lets us know that BMW has dropped some performance as well. But yeah, recovers in 8th place. Sorry, carry on, Scott.
No, yeah, I was just going to say that he overcooked it on the entry to the final corner, so yeah, just lost a couple of positions there, cost him probably 2-3 seconds there. Just merged in between the battle of Kevin Wang, Hazic, and Hackerson, so
still in a reasonable place, you know, can recover.
Yeah.
And still looking at sort of the front three, definitely closing in lap times last time by our leader with a 2:03.6, Jackson 2:03.7, and then Gallum with a 2:03.3. So closing in 0.3 on our leader. So he's definitely the man on the move at the moment. Perhaps tyres holding out just a little bit longer on his car, and that's going to come into a major consideration in the second half of this race. So easy to have a bit of lap time at the start of a stint, but if your tyres fall off, well, you pay the price big time. And Road America is particularly tough on tyres as well. It's got a bit of everything that goes on, almost a little twitch for Jackson, maybe a move opportunity here for Gallen. Has a look one way, has a little dart out, oh, just a little bit late in making his mind up which way he wanted to go there, and in the end doesn't do anything, just shows Jackson he's there, trying to put him in a bit of pressure, make him lose the slipstream of his teammate completely. That'll make him a little bit easier to get past. But yeah, I think as I was saying, Scott, the track, like I say, very demanding on the tyres, and one of the few tracks where, you know, you really got to pay close attention to the pressures, because the left-hand side of the car takes a massive pounding in comparison to the right-hand side. The left-hand side all high-speed corners, and the right-hand side mainly slow-speed stuff, so it doesn't quite get affected the same.
Yeah, definitely, especially with corners like the carousel, where the front left is loaded quite heavily, especially for a long time. You're sort of delicately on the throttle, just trying to control it as well as get the right turn in and get the grip that you need. But yeah, as you say, yeah, tyre management's going to be a key here. Still got 27 minutes to go in the race, but yeah, it will be quicker for them to take no tyres, I think. So yeah, it's all about tyre management this race.
We should be finished in time for the Le Mans 24 hours, so if you're tuning in, ready and waiting for that on iRacing Live, that'll be up next, I'm sure. Looking forward to watching a little bit of that, see how it all pans out. Some last minute changes for drivers, I will, I'm sure. But yeah, the should be good to watch the HPDs and the GTs cruising around there. Good to see the Ford GT back as well in the GT2 class. So yeah, should be good. You're obviously having a little blast as well. This one, some late night driving for you, or regular times, I guess, for you, but late for us.
Oh, well, if you recall, Sunday morning at around 7 in the morning, normal hours, West Australian time. Yeah,
Better
but
than
it will
most of the
be
races
around
you have
about,
to do.
well, yeah, compared to when I was doing the Williams, it was 12 in the morning for me, so, yeah, so fairly regular hours, but yeah, I might be in the car for Apex Racing Academy / UK car in the Ford GT around 2300 GMT, so yeah, should be a good race, I think. Obviously, a lot of drivers turn up for that one, being a special event, and it's great that iRacing have been able to get Le Mans and be able to put this event on.
Roden closing in on. I mean, I think at the moment, Beak again. Got the slipstream of that McLaren ahead, which is going to help him, but Roden definitely got a little bit more pace. Looking down into turn. It's turn 2, it's not turn 3. There's no way that little kink down there is classed as a turn. But yeah, so surely an opportunity here going into the tight left-hander at the end of the straight. He's going to have to do it on the brakes if he is. Still only 0.3 of a second back. Closing on the braking now, brakes a little bit early, just being a little bit careful. The gap increases a bit, gets a good exit, mind you, closes back in. It's uphill left-hander, always tricky, especially when you're following. You can't quite see the apex as well. Just head on board for a second with Groden. It's a little out of shape. Coming out of the downhill left-hander before the carousel. Listen to how patient the drivers have to be through here. Constantly nerfing the gas pedal to make sure the car doesn't push too wide. Oh, and even through the kink, it's just so easy just to run out a bit wide there, and actually not a good carousel or a kink for Groden. Definitely has no opportunity for a move this time going into Canada corner.
Yeah, it looks as though that has been able to close back up to Kevin Wong, so Kevin might be struggling a little bit on his tyres, or just Hazek's been able to find a little bit of pace, just closing back up onto the McLaren as Groden into the pits.
Yeah, it makes sense. He's just been held up there now, so get in, he can get by these two. There's the pack just ahead of them is fairly close. You know, he could still get a top 5 out of this race, even with the mistake that he made earlier on. Gallen very close to Jackson now for P2. You know, Luis surely going to have the best opportunity coming down the back straight. I bet he wish he could pop open his DRS as he passes that board, but no such joy. I tell you what, that Evolution Racing Australia Mercedes is trimmed out, because there's not a lot of difference in straight line speed between those two as well. Even though Jack O doesn't have any draft whatsoever from his teammate Winkelmann, who's now 2.5 seconds to the good.
Yeah, so we should be starting to see pit stops within the next 5 or 6 minutes or so. So yeah, Winkelmann just coming up to a bit of lap traffic. I'm just trying to find out who that is.
Yeah, my best. Yeah, I was about to say Cash there, I think.
Yeah.
Flash of the lights to them to get on out the way. He does exactly that, and yeah, straight through. Didn't cost him too much time. Jackson Evans very close behind Paul Nelson right now. Has a little look down into Canada corner. It's going to be late on the brakes. gets the move done, and in fact Paul doesn't really defend it at all, just lets him have it. Evans up and clear in his McLaren. And that is the good thing about that car. When you do want to get an overtake done, it becomes a lot easier to do than most, because with the draft and the straight line speed, just breeze by normally. So, but yeah, it's an interesting car, obviously, because it's a little bit tough on tyres, and now again with the fuel restrictions, does hurt it a little bit. You tend to see most of the time the drivers will always be taking tyres with this one.
Yeah, it's with the rear tyres that are affected the most, especially with the rear end dancing around quite a lot. When I was testing that car, that was the main thing that I struggled with that car. So, but yeah, as you say, Jackson past Nelson is about 11-second gap to Hackerson in front. So he'll be pushing quite a lot to get up to Hackerson.
Looking at Hackerson, he's dropped back from that little battle that was going on earlier on, but Kevin Hung has actually closed on to Paul Lonergan now as well. They're only 0.7 of a second behind him in 5th. So at Mercedes, going to come under a little bit of trouble. Maybe Paul's just backing his back up a little bit. Is that his teammate?
Yes.
That's Nathan Groden's teammate, isn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe he's just going to try and back these guys up a bit and let Groden jump them in the pits. Who knows? I'll keep an eye on the lap time, see if they fall off anything. Oh, a little mistake from Kevin Hung. That's opened the door to Hazik round the outside of the fast left-hander, the penultimate corner of the circuit. Gets the move completed. So yeah, mistake for Kevin. He'll be cursing himself for that. Maybe an opportune time to jump in the pits, and he does exactly that. Oh, and Jacko around. It's turn 1. I think there was contact there with Gallon. He's recovering to the circuit. Won't be a happy man in that cockpit right now. He's just about held on from Leonardo. Let's take a little look at that back and see exactly what happened. Maybe it's just a mistake.
Jacko,
he looks too far back.
Yeah, he just clipped the grass on the entry to turn 1 and just sent the car around. So unfortunately, mistake from Jacko. So puts him back into, he defends the P3 from Leonardo. So, but yeah, Leonardo on the tail of Jacko at the moment, trying to make the move.
So easily done there as well. No like curbing going in there or anything like that. It's just, you want to get as close to the white line. And again, I talk about those in my track guide videos and said exactly that. You want to get close to that, but you can't afford to hit the grass. And yeah, Jackson did exactly that. And it just finishes you. There's nothing you can do. I mean, that's pretty well recovered from Tim, it's fair to say, because he only lost 1 place in about 5 seconds, I think. So that's pretty good going.
Yeah.
Adam Zeitzinger in the chat, a bit gutted that he can't race, unfortunately. Internet problems, so hopefully we'll see him back in the near future.
Actually interesting to point out as well that Groden jumped Kevin in the pit stop phase. Kevin had a slightly longer pit stop, but Nathan managed to get ahead of Kevin, so it'll be interesting to see whether Hazik, Hackerson and Lonergan can maintain the positions in the pit stop phase.
Yeah, that's all important for Groden. Like you say, 0.6 of a second faster, not a lot, but it makes the difference. Will carry a tiny little bit more momentum coming out down the straight, and allowed him to slingshot past Kevin. So yeah, like you say, it's all going to be about the rest of that pack right now. And as far as the lap times go, they're very, very similar to what Groden's doing. There's hardly anything in it. 10th here, 10th there. So this is going to be very, very close.
Actually going to try and find the lane time, work out the lane time so I can try and figure out where everyone else is going to come out. So But roughly, you're looking at about a 35-second pit stop. So, oh, sorry, a lane time. So,
Yeah, it seems quite short, but then I guess they're only taking a little splash of fuel, really, aren't they? So it's not too bad.
yeah.
Well, let's just take stock then. Winkelmann from Gallant, that's 2.3 seconds. It's gone up slightly this lap as well. Tim Jackson in third place after his little spin. Leonardo de Oliveira in fourth place, 1.3 seconds back, leading the clubman's category right now fairly comfortably, it's fair to say. Paul Lonergan is in fifth place. Sorry. Hazik is in sixth. Ben Hackerson is in seventh. Trying to see where the next clubman's driver is as well.
I think it's Alex. Alex in 12th.
It is Alex in 12th, so yeah, our championship leader actually looking like he could still get second and on the podium, and that would be a bad result considering how poor the car is round here at the moment. Obviously, Alex running in the Audi. Few drivers into pit lane. Tim Jackson, Paul Lonergan, bundling down. They're dropping down the order at the moment. Some really quick stops out there as well today. Let's just have a quick race, see how long it takes Lonergan to get going. 11 seconds flat for Jackson, that's pretty standard stuff. And then an 11.2 for Lonergan. Again, that sort of 11 second to 11.5 seems to be about where the teams are getting it done.
Yeah, it's interesting to point out that Steve O'Cade had a 6.5 second stop, at least on my timing screen, so maybe the Ford GT is just a little bit more fuel efficient, or possibly Steve's underfueled the car by mistake. So
well, yeah,
there's
that.
So we'll just have to keep an eye out on Steve O'Cade towards the end of the race with 14 minutes to go.
Yeah, it'd be good to see the Ford get a reasonable result. I remember a few seasons back when it was absolutely the best car to be in. Everybody jumped ship. Oh, who we got? Someone's around. I think that's just a back marker. It is. I think it might have been. Actually, it was Jackson Evans, Scott, around. The problems for him, he was moving up nicely, and then lost it. Was this? I think he already had some damage. Did he? No, I think he's going to lose it. Just going through the kink. Maybe get wide, get onto the grass. We've seen this. Yeah, exactly that. And then of course, just spits him out there. Kept his foot in there, even though he was on the grass. You just start to spin up that outside rear left, and yeah, if you're not on top of that really quickly, well, it does that.
Yeah, pretty tricky corner in these GT3 cars. It's either a little lift or you can go flat out when you're not in the draft. But yeah, unfortunately, it's bitten Jackson Evans, and he's in the pits currently.
11.8 for Winkelmann, Gallant 11.6, so a little bit slower for our leaders. Leonardo also in. Mike Burdett still hasn't pitted. He comes out in between. Well, he doesn't come out, but he's in between them. Jackson closes in a little bit after the pit stop, so his mistake actually. He sort of brought himself back into contention in this race with just under 13 minutes to go. He's only 4 seconds behind the leader again, so that 5 seconds that he's lost, he's made that all back up, so he's done extremely well.
Yeah, definitely great performance from Jacko, even after that mistake. Possibly kicking himself that he made that one, but yeah, he's managed to close the gap back up to the front. He's currently running about 6 seconds behind Winkelmann at the moment, as Paul Nelson hasn't pitted yet. Is currently leading at the moment, but
oh, mistake for Burdett as well. Mike Burdett coming out. He hasn't pitted yet, and just came out of the downhill left-hander before the carousel, and just lost the back end straight into the wall. Terminal damage. Retires back to the pits.
Yeah, it was a really good run from Mike in the Audi there, but yeah, it hadn't pitted yet, so yeah, it was a pretty strong outing from him, even though he hadn't pitted. But yeah, unfortunately, he made the mistake into turn 6.
Yeah.
Which,
That's it. One small
ultimately
mistake,
cost.
race over. Really, Just
Yeah.
got absolutely punished there. So, but yeah, he did hit that wall hard. Winkelmann retakes the lead of the race as Paul Nelson comes in to take his pit stop. Comfortable times for Anthony Winkelmann right now. 3.3 seconds is the gap. Give or take a thousandth of a second. And then in traditional fashion it updates. So it was close. Well, I have to say, Scott, the race has settled down somewhat now. There's sort of sizable gaps between all of the cars, except these two. This is a battle for 19th and 20th.
A couple of teammates, Indra Farianto and Junio Pereira, for Macau Sim Racing team. Yeah, just looking for a strong finish for them, even though they are fighting for 18th and 19th. But yeah, yeah, just looking to consolidate from where they are at the moment. Possibly maybe might be able to make the opportunity of a crash or two if they do happen ahead. But yeah, just looking for a strong battle for 18th and 19th currently.
Just want to point out as well that I'm sure I'll get it mentioned that people will say the flag's wrong, flag's wrong, flag's wrong, and at the moment it's currently looking up. Oh, mistake for Pereira there as well, losing it big time. Don't know if he kept it out of the wall. Loses it again. So close to Cash Choi, and round he goes. About 9 minutes. No point in taking coming in. I think that's the leader coming up behind him as well. Don't want to get out of the way, but so easy to make a mistake, and yeah, does it in a big way. But yeah, just to go back while we watch the leader, just put a lap on him. Yeah, set to clubs at the moment. So, and the Club Asia one is just is representing the Japanese flag. So apologies to everybody else out there. Don't worry, I haven't all changed your nationalities. It's just we're doing a lot of testing on the overlay and doing a lot more official series where people don't fill in the form at all. There's a lot of guys that don't fill in the form in this series, and yeah, so we've just took the goal, the direction of just putting the clubs up there at the moment. But yeah, I'm going to have a chat with Mark after this race, try and get a bit more information in for who's in the clubmans, who's in the pro and whatnot as well. Classes, indicators, as well as proper information for the whole grid if we can get it. We rejoined that battle, Scott, the 6th, 7th, 8th battle, but was a little bit further down, and actually they've caught up somewhat. Well, they haven't caught up to Nathan Groden, they're just with Groden. Lonergan in there as well, so Lonergan, with backing that pack up, he got jumped by his teammate as well, but he retained sort of his position in that group, although Ben Hackerson came out the next best after the pit stops. Got himself up to 7th in front of Han Hazit.
Oh, yeah, there's a bit of a mistake there from, was it Lonergan? Or
yeah,
is it
was Groden who made the mistake, and of course the teammates give each other plenty of room. Hackerson having to get out of it a little bit, almost opened the door back for Hazit to go through. Oh, big mistake coming out of the kink. Manages to keep it in check, and it was aware enough to get on the brakes. He could have had a position there, but decides the best course of action was just to avoid getting involved in a massive pile-up and live and fight for the position a bit later. And again, Atkinson getting a bit ragged at the moment, and don't know if that's just tyres going off or just saw an opportunity to get past one of these teammates, and yeah, it just all went the complete opposite way.
Yeah, I think with 6 minutes to go, he's coming up under a bit of pressure from Hazic, so a bit of defensive there at the moment, but I think Hackerson's looking to try and further his position up into the top 5 ahead of the Green Hornet racing team.
I think that might be Steve Bouquet out of this race as well, unfortunately. Either that was a mistake, or like we said, he just hadn't taken enough fuel and just brought it down pit lane and retired. Oh, Hackerson far too late on the brakes. Going to pick up an off track for that as well. Drop all the way back to the back of that pack as well. So yeah, a bit overexcited there, I think, and in the end, he must have missed that braking point by a good sort of 50 meters.
Yeah, it can be quite costly there going into turn 3, but luckily there's quite a lot of runoff area, so that if you do that, make that little mistake that you can, just start over to the right and avoid the cars in front and avoid the pile-up there, so good avoiding action from Hackerson, but yeah, unfortunately he made the mistake into turn 3.
Thank you everybody who's tuning in and watching this one. Of course, don't forget that the Le Mans race will be up after this here on iRacing Live. This is the Sim Racers Asia GT Championship. We're here at Road America, and yeah, Alex Simpson, Scott Newton, Anthony Winkleman leads the way in this race by 2.4 seconds from Louise Gallant, his teammate, Winkleman's teammate Tim Jackson in third, 4.3 seconds further back after a little spin earlier on in the race. Leonardo de Oliveira leads the clubman's category, currently sat 4th overall, and then Paul Lonergan, who is coming under a little bit of pressure from his teammate Nathan Groden, moves back up and into 5th place.
Yeah, it looks like a bit of formation flying from the Green Hornet racing guys at the moment. Just trying to hold out the back end of the top 5 and P6 at the moment. So yeah, it looks like Hazik's got the run on.
You know, it makes sense to get Groden back ahead, because right now Lonergan can use the slipstream to try and defend, and Groden's just a fraction quicker, so he can perhaps pull his teammate around a bit. But side by side into turn number 3, it's going to be very wide, as he's going to need some room to get back onto the track. He gets enough, but yeah, just not the best of lines, so he's not able to complete that move. Opens the door to Kevin Hung to have a little attack now. This is definitely where the battle's going to be at for the last little bit. This race, just 3.5 minutes to go. It's run 4 drivers really pretty settled in their positions. Only a big mistake is going to affect that right now. And there's a couple of other little battles going on out there, but this is by far the most exciting one.
Yeah, also Hazek had to go over the outside curbing at turn 3 there, so it cost him a little bit of time getting a little bit airborne. So yeah, Paul left him just that little bit of room, but unfortunately he had to slot back into line. But yeah, as coming up to the final part of the lap now, Hazek looks a little bit stronger than Lonergan at the moment, but yeah, as they come around the final corner now, hopefully they're looking to get a good exit powering onto the front straight.
We'll stay on board, because I thought that his car was particularly slow even in the draft earlier on, and we'll see if we can see Lonergan pulling away. The gap does look to be getting bigger to me, so Lonergan definitely more trimmed now and tucked up behind his teammate, is able to use full advantage of that as well. So Zeke's going to really struggle, and he's definitely going to have Hung to worry about, who, if we just jump on board, is 0.4 of a second back as well, and that Macca is certainly fast enough to get our move done. Oh, Oh, Hazik very, very close ahead. We've got a great shot from it from here if we stay in. Maybe he's going to go for the move. They're going to the defensive. What's Kevin going to do? It's going through his head right now as he sees these two shaping up. Maybe a 2-in-1 opportunity for him. This breaks down, sort of puts his car in the middle of the track. We get the better run. No, he doesn't. He needed a much wider line in. He might have been able to attack. I mean, coming up the hill into the tricky, tight, sort of blind left-hander. As they are, they just continue around this slow speed section of the track.
Oh, there's a car up in front. Yeah, just luckily
Boom.
jumping out of the way. Yeah. Not sure who that was. I think it was Federico. So yeah, a bit unfortunate for him, but luckily he was able to avoid the cars behind him. So currently the battle continues. Yeah, let's say that Hackerson's sort of dropping away, so his tyres are pretty much done at the moment.
But he was quicker the last time than all of these guys ahead of him. You know, he was the only driver in the 205s, so all of the rest of them in 206s. So, you know, he was strong, but he just fell too far back. He needs them battling hard if he's going to actually catch back up. And even then, I'm not sure he's going to have enough opportunity to get by. He really has been sat behind people in this race, and when he's got there, he's kind of stalled, even though the pace has been pretty good. So, struggled somewhat. That's the thing around Road America as well, as we head on to the last lap of the race. It really is a track where you can compromise. You can set the car to be really fast in the slow speed sort of middle sector, or you can really go for the high speed stuff. So it's very difficult to get a balance of two perfectly. You'll always be stronger in one than you are the other.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, if I was going to set it up, I'd probably try to be a bullet in a straight line to avoid being overtaken. But yeah, as you say, you're trying to get the balance of both. As gets a great run out of turn 2, getting alongside Paul Lonergan at the moment, and trying to use the draft of Grodin in front. And looks as though he's got Lonergan's just a little bit deeper under brakes and manages to hold on to P6 at the moment.
Yeah, good defensive driving from him, although Azik has another little look up the inside, the uphill left there, to keep an eye on the leaders. All of a sudden as well, there's a little issue for Luis Gallen, as Leonardo de Oliveira hot on his tails, just 0.4 of a second back, so perhaps a mistake or something there, or fuel, I'm not sure, but that's going to be a good battle. Where's our leader? He's going to be finishing this race very, very soon, coming into the penultimate corner now. Let's have a look. I think Gallen's been able to recover it back up fairly well. He should hold on to this into the Canada corner. That would have been the last opportunity for Leonardo, I would have thought. Let's see if he runs out of fuel going up the hill, but here comes Winkelmann to take victory here at Road America in Sim Race's Asia GT Series. Dominant victory, 7 seconds in the end. Very, very convincing. His teammate is second place after being gifted it back from Gallen, who made a mistake in the final race. Still finishes on the podium, so he'll be disappointed with that, but at least got a consolation. Oliveira comes across in 4th. Grodin is going to hold out, just keep 5th place. His teammate tucked up behind him in 6th. Amir Hazik, sorry, is 7th. Hackerson comes across in 8th. He was close. That was just a back marker. My apologies. Paul Nelson is coming out the final corner now. He will round out your top 10, I believe. Indeed, we do have one last little battle there as well, so we'll keep an eye on this. Got half a lap to go. They're exchanging positions, and actually it looks like Kim's got some problems out there, so just trundling around. So yeah, died out a bit quicker than we thought. Well,
Yeah,
Scott, yeah, sorry mate, go on.
I was just going to say, possible fuel issue is yeah, Kim's just losing quite a lot of time to Farianto in P410, so possibly just he's probably under pressure from Pole as well. So yeah, Pole's just able to stream past him and overtake Kim for P15.
Well, good little race there in the end. most of the action towards the sort of the front and in that top 10. But yeah, Winkelmann dominant in the end, and yeah, ERA taking 1-2. I'm sure they'll be happy with that one.
Yeah, definitely. Winkelmann pretty consistent over the whole race. Yeah, he led every single lap. Pretty dominant performance from him. Yeah, just that little bit of a mistake from Tim in the latter half of this was it the first stint or the second early part of the second stint? So yeah, he might be kicking himself there, not being able to stay with his teammate. But yeah, gifted that second place back after the little mistake from Louis Gallen. So yeah, as you say, great job from Evolution Racing Australia for 1-2, and yeah, it was a great result for Louis Gallen finishing out on the podium, and yeah, also the Green Hornet guys as well finishing within the top 6 as well.
Right, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, very, very much. Lost it. I was in bed, 5 o'clock in the morning, so I'm knackered. But yeah, good race. Of course, Le Mans is starting, so head on over there, guys. While you're here, please, you know, just give us a thumbs up and stuff like that. You know, hitting that like button helps us out, spreads the word. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, well, you know, subscribe to us as well. It all helps us with sponsorship, promoting sim racing as an esport. The more likes and subscribers we can get on all of the channels, whether it be you know, RaceBot or us or LSR TV or all of the broadcasters, we all need to get the whole community backing us, because that's what gets the sponsors involved. That's when we can do more great, exciting championships, and really going to spread the word of you know, sim racing as an esport. So get on behind it. This is not me just, you know, begging and pleading for likes. I'm, you know, really trying to do some stuff with obviously TV and things like that. We've had some success with that as well, but yeah, they do ask us about that, you know, and you know, if we can get sort of, you know, 10,000 likes and things like that, they get a bit more interested at that point. But you know, they're not really interested until you sort of get there. So yeah, thank you very much. I can see the figures. I can see it going up by 1. Woohoo! Whoever you were, thank you very much. Right, we've got a couple of interviews as well. The top 2 lads. Let's bring Winkelmann in before we head on out. Actually, I'll bring Tim up as well. Well done, lads. Anthony, first off, congratulations. Nice looking livery you had on there this week.
Yeah, mate, something a bit fresh.
And what a way to start as well, by taking a victory and beating one of your new teammates.
Yeah. No, it was good fun, man.
And not really much to say about the race, really. Got a good start, pulled away. They had a little battle behind you, which let you sort of build about a second or so lead, and you maintained that for best part of sort of 2/3 of the first stint until Tim had his little moment, and then from there you just sort of scampered away.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying to Timmy before. We sort of we all stayed together. I wasn't gaining anything really, and then Timmy had his little incident, and then Louise got taken out with by a back marker, so it that freed up a bit of space, and yeah, it was just a good hard race.
Well, awesome stuff. I mean, where are we at next week? I'm trying to remember. Any thoughts?
I'm
None
looking at
whatsoever.
I can't remember.
Sorry, we're at Suzuka next week.
Suzuka, thanks, Scott. Sorry about that. Yeah, I didn't have the email with the information this week. So, well, Suzuka, stark contrast really from Road America, isn't it? You know, it's all about you know, getting the car quick through all of the through the S's and like spoon curve and places like that. So, yeah, totally different challenge out there.
Yeah, for sure, man. Tonight was first race I've done in the Merc, so it was good to learn the setup of the car, and yeah, it'd be interesting to see at a completely different track.
Cool, and just to talk to your teammate just for a second. Jacko was going well. You just nicked the grass.
Yeah, that's all it took, and I'm just happy it saved it to some extent, and was able to get back on the track and maintain at least a reasonable position.
And I mean, obviously there was not much you could do after that. But do you think you had anything for Ant until that point?
Nah, mate, no. It was just the only reason I'd say I'd be sticking behind was the draft at that stage, and started to cook the tyres about lap 15. But no, Anthony was too quick. That was clear.
And of course, you got you gifted second place, but you got it gifted back to you in the end.
Yeah, unfortunate for Lewis because he had a good race. He stayed with us to start with, and actually I think he was probably the quicker of the three in the back end of the tyres because he didn't disappear and he gained a lot of time.
And a little bit of obviously you guys do a fair bit of GT3, getting yourselves ready for Bonkpan Pro Series qualifying.
Yeah, mate, we've got 3 teams in the qualifying stages. Obviously, you've already got the one team in for the next year, and yeah, we'd like to see at least another car in there. So we've got a pretty strong team, 1, 2, and 3. Hope to see at least one of those in there as well.
Yeah, and of course it's tricky because I don't think we're going to get another BOP update until sort of maybe during that championship. So I think I don't know about you guys, but I think everybody's going to be kind of what we're going to see what we did today, really, with the Mercs being the prominent car.
Well, I've got no doubt about that, mate.
Yeah.
I'd say you're only your specialists with the BMW, but they're already in the World Championship for next year already.
Yeah. Cool. All right, fellas. Well, I'll let you go. Doing any Le Mans today as well before I release you?
Yeah, mate. Ian Ford's in there at the moment. Just kicked off. We'll get straight into that, and we'll go from there. Look, other than that, we'd like to thank MPMS Race Simulators, Logitech, MS Limited for the sponsorship, and congrats to Anthony again.
Awesome stuff. Right, thanks, guys. Well, good luck in Le Mans, and we'll catch you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, boys.
Right, Scotty, I'll let you go as well because you want to go and have a play in Le Mans. Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm working.
I gotta catch some Zeds for tomorrow morning. So, yeah.
Cool, good stuff. Right, well, thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy Le Mans today. That first time iRacing breaking history with all that, so should be a lot of fun. Congrats to the winners in class. So Anthony Winkelman and Leonardo de Oliveira. So yeah, good fun race, and we'll see you next week for Suzuka. Be right back.